Hello and welcome to leg number 2 of my Balkans road trip, the Vipava Valley. After spending a couple of days at Lake Bohinj, I made my way to Goce. But first, a stop in Slapnik was in order. This is a small abandoned settlement in practically the middle of nowhere, but I was hell-bent on going there. I couldn't find much information about it online, so I wasn't entirely sure what the drive would be like. I will tell you this though, to go there, you really have to want to go there. It was quite a drive. Almost as soon as I left Bohinj, the narrow winding road started snaking up a mountain. I could see snow at the top and I felt a little nervous about possibly trapping myself on some road that felt too stressful for me to drive but nowhere to turn around. It ended up being fine and I reached the top where snow and a couple of cute little buildings were waiting for me. Then I snaked my way back down the mountain. The whole drive was a lot of up and down and a lot of hairpins. Every once in a while, a car would come up behind me, but there was always a spot where I could eventually pull over and let them pass. I wasn't crawling by any means, but I don't like the pressure of somebody behind me. And here's a tip for you. If someone wants to tailgate you, just tell them tough shit. You don't have to drive at a speed that makes you uncomfortable. Every once in a while, a car would come the opposite direction, and that was a little nerve-wracking because I was worried the car would get scratched because the road was so narrow. Even when it turned into 2 proper lanes, they were practically bike-sized lanes. I was pretty proud of myself for handling all those narrow winding roads. I drove along the Goce River, which was an unnaturally gorgeous turquoise emerald green color. The Goce River is called the Isonza River in Italian, and during World War I, the Isonza Front was home to some of the bloodiest battles. 1.7 million soldiers were killed or suffered lifelong injuries here on this front. After enjoying some normal roads for a while, I had to once again veer off to very winding mountain roads for the last several miles to Slapnik. Of course, it had started raining, and do I ever remember to pack an umbrella with me when I go to Europe in the winter? No. The road going down to the actual village is very narrow and unpaved, so I parked my car at the entrance to the gravel road and walked down it. Wow, look at that view. It's so pretty. Most of the structures were so dilapidated there wasn't much to look at. At one point, there were plans to film a reality show there about renovating the decaying houses. That never panned out though. So, there's this old house right here, this cement building. I guess that probably says enter at your own risk, I'm not sure. Wow. Whoa, there's just like a door open. Look at those thin little stairs. A Slovenian lady I talked to told me that villages like this just sit abandoned because they're not allowed to be sold without the owner's consent. And since many of the original owners either died or moved away after the war or belonged to multiple people, it's hard to track down the owners to get permission. And to update them, they have to follow certain guidelines to maintain the history of the house, which is often more expensive than replacing with modern materials. So instead, they just sit there decaying. Whoa, look at these wooden stairs. There's like, I don't know what that is. Oh my gosh, there's a toilet in there. Sick. Whoa. Just like stone buildings here. I'm gonna kind of cut my tour short because first of all, the buildings are like completely dilapidated. And second of all, the rain. Somebody has a dog around here. Keep hearing him bark. Look at that. Where's that old bark bag coming from? I don't know. There were 2 random modern houses in this little settlement. One, I wasn't quite sure if someone still owned it because it was closed up. But this blast from the past 70s home was open for me to go explore. Oh my gosh, look at that flooring. Are you kidding me? Okay. Oh my gosh. $19.99. What does that say? 1978. It says Sydney, 12th February 1978. Okay, this is crazy. Time capsule. Well, all that driving on those winding roads to find that town, I thought it was cool. Actually, the part with the abandoned old stone buildings, that was cool, I guess, but the part I liked best was finding that 1970s home full of stuff. That was so cool. And it was fun to drive on those winding roads. It was kind of nerve-wracking sometimes, but I don't know. I think it's fun. On my way to Goce, I passed through beautiful hilly terrain covered in vineyards. Suddenly, I came up to a sign that said Italy 100 meters. I abruptly pulled into someone's driveway and started looking on the map for other routes where I wouldn't have to cross through Italy, since it wasn't on the list of places I told my car rental company I'd be going. After a few moments of panic, I remembered, I paid the EU cross-border fee to my rental car company, so it doesn't matter. Then I started Googling to see if I needed a vignette to drive in Italy, but since I was only going to be going through small towns, I figured it would be okay. I'm driving through some Italian town right now. I don't know what I'm doing. Look how cute this is, though. Actually, I think I'm supposed to go left here. I should probably pull my map back up. It's cute, though. I think I forgot to mention this in my video about the basics of a Balkans road trip, but you have to pay a cross-border fee to take your car out of the country. As far as I could tell, it was the same price for all of the car rental companies in Slovenia. 20 euros for other EU countries, like Italy, 50 euros for countries like Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia, North Macedonia, and Montenegro, and 122 euros for Albania, Kosovo, Bulgaria, and Romania. And Turkey is not allowed. Okay, back to driving through Italy. It was a fun little surprise to go through there, and in no time I was back in Slovenia. The area around Goce is beautiful, but it doesn't have the dramatic hillsides like this area did. I actually thought this region right before I entered Italy was more beautiful, but the Vipava Valley is still stunning. I stayed in the tiny village of Goce, and I picked it solely off the fact that I found a hotel there to stay at. All vineyards and mountains. I'm This little town I'm going to sure is tucked away. Okay. Oh, people weren't kidding when they said the streets are narrow. Oh my gosh. It was a pleasant surprise, though. The owners were terrific, and the town has a cool history. It's the oldest wine village in Slovenia. The earliest written accounts about it indicate the village has been around since the Middle Ages, but it didn't really hit its peak until the mid-18th century. And that church you see right there, that was built in the 1600s. And as you can see, the roads are extremely narrow. Once I got my bags in, I headed out to check out the town. Something smells like fire. I just saw this sign and look. More little houses down here. And look, this is why everybody comes to this region, is to wine taste. But I'm here off season, so look, up there is a church. Oh, 20 minutes to that church. Too rainy and cold for me to go walk up there. Guess you can just put insulation foam when your walls start separating. They have a nativity set up on their gate. They also have a nativity. There's the church. And there's houses that surround it. Let's see what the view is like from here. Whoa, look at all those mushrooms. Guess if all these tree branches weren't in the way, you could see the vineyards. There's a well. Oh, that's cute. Oh, wow. Look at all that. And look. Love that. So there's that church again. That poor dog is crying. Oh, here you can see all the rows of vineyards. It's really pretty. I have a cemetery. I think we should go look. Wow. This is so pretty. Even with the rain and fog, I love it. It's just vineyards everywhere. All of this is vineyards. And then we have a cemetery. Wow, they really pack them in tight here. These graves are all very close together. It's kind of like the German ones, though, where they have like the headstone and then they have an area where people keep it nice with flowers and candles and stuff. Looks just like the ones in Germany. It's very pretty how they do that. There's a lot of Josefs, Ivanas, and Ivankas here, and Frank and Ivan. So I think those are common Slovenian names, maybe. Look. They have a nativity too. It's pretty. And that little circle thing. I don't know if those are just leftover from Christmas or if this town is like super religious and they just have like nativities up all the time. I don't know. I mean, it's already the middle of January, so if it's from Christmas, they sure do leave it up for a long time. After I got back, I struck up a conversation with the owners in my hotel and ended up chatting with them for 2 hours while sampling local homemade liquors. I got the scoop about life in a small village. I heard all about the local priest, the exercise classes led by the physical therapist every Monday at the school, the fresh produce everyone grows and gives to one another, the amazing meats and salamis they make. A few times a year, they even wrap a prosciutto in bread and bake it, and then the local wineries donate wine. Everyone in the village eats and drinks together. For such a small village, there's a lot of activity going on there. They said most of the businesses, including the wine cellars, it's just like you go knock on the owner's door and they'll open it up for you. They also have a type of wine here called orange wine. It's white wine, except they use the skins too, which gives it kind of an orangish color. Supposedly, it's one of the oldest ways to make wine. The husband at the hotel said it's kind of an acquired taste, but they're trying to make it a thing and kind of trendy in this region. The day I left Goce, the owner of the hotel went with me to the little ceramic shop I had seen the day before. In true small village fashion, we rang the doorbell and they opened up for us. I loved everything I saw in there. They don't use any molds and they make everything by hand. They use different techniques and you can tell they're very into their artistry and craftsmanship. Really, I would love to just come back here with an empty suitcase and buy everything. I love unexpected surprises like this. Finding something special and unique in a small town in the front room of someone's house. Naturally, I chose a mouse face to bring back with me, since my nickname is Mouse. If you liked learning about this region of Slovenia, please give this video a thumbs up. And hit the subscribe and notify bell because we are making our way to Croatia in the next episode. See you next time.